While Lin Zichen is lying in bed, he is annoyed by a loud ringing sound. Looking to the side, he realizes it is his phone, while Shen Qinghan continues to sleep soundly beside him. Throwing on his jacket, Lin Zichen answers the call and is informed that the items he purchased from the campus mall have been delivered. After receiving his package containing the 9-turn soul worm and dimensional rat meat, Lin Zichen uses his devouring ability on the meat, successfully unlocking the progress for the dimensional rat codex. Later, Lin Zichen looks at his phone while visualizing the mysterious glowing symbols, noting that he still hasn't received any new information about them. He tells a now-awake Shen Qinghan that he plans to go to the research institute himself to look for the ancient item Liu Chuanwu mentioned. Shen Qinghan eagerly volunteers to go with him. Lin Zichen then calls Liu Chuanwu. He asks for permission to visit the institute with Shen Qinghan and inquires if Liu Chuanwu has found the ancient item yet. On the other end of the line, an exhausted Liu Chuanwu sits on a bed covered in lipstick marks alongside sleeping women. He tells Lin Zichen that the item might be in the storage room and instructs him to look for a pearl and shell bracelet with his senior sister. Suddenly, his female companions wake up and playfully pull him back down, demanding he continue partying. A panicked Liu Chuanwu hastily tells Lin Zichen he is busy and hangs up. Listening to the abrupt end of the call, Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan sweat drop, realizing that Liu Chuanwu's wild night is surprisingly still ongoing. Later, the pair arrives outside the Pure Human Research Institute. Shen Qinghan excitedly remarks that she has always wanted to visit, but Lin Zichen dryly warns her not to set her expectations too high. Stepping inside the Pure Human Research Institute, Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan are met with a completely trashed and cluttered workspace filled with empty bottles, scattered equipment, and junk. They remark that the messy environment feels more like an abandoned ruin than a school facility. Shen Qinghan kindly offers to come back and help clean the place up when she has free time. Lin Zichen quickly advises against it, joking that cleaning would destroy the institute's unique character. Entering the lounge area, they are surprised to find Yuyan in the middle of a complex yoga stretch on a mat. Noticing their arrival, Yuyan cheerfully greets them without breaking her athletic pose. Yuyan immediately jumps up to welcome them, enthusiastically trapping a flustered Shen Qinghan in a busty bear hug while throwing her other arm around Lin Zichen. She playfully teases them about being a perfect couple, prompting an awkward Lin Zichen to ask her to stop teasing his embarrassed girlfriend. Ignoring his request, Yuyan continues to affectionately smother Shen Qinghan, declaring they need to get properly acquainted since it is their first meeting, and complimenting how much prettier she is in person. Crossing his arms, Lin Zichen firmly redirects the conversation, reminding Yuyan that they are there on serious business. Standing amidst the severely cluttered storage room, Lin Zichen asks Yuyan if she recalls seeing the pearl and shell bracelet that Liu Chuanwu mentioned. Yuyan shakes her head, admitting that in her 10 years at the institute, she has never seen such an item, leading Shen Qinghan to conclude they will have to search the massive pile of junk manually. However, Yuyan winks confidently and pats her chest. She assures them that because she is so familiar with the storage room's chaotic layout, she can easily eliminate most areas from their search and guarantee they will find it quickly. 3 hours later, an exhausted Yuyan collapses onto the floor among the scattered boxes. She questions if the bracelet even exists, jokingly wondering if Director Liu Chuanwu's age is catching up to him and he simply misremembered. Holding a box full of miscellaneous junk, a tired Lin Zichen rubs his forehead and sighs, concluding that they might just have to give up and wait for the director to return so they can ask him directly. Suddenly, Shen Qinghan tugs on Lin Zichen's sleeve to get his attention. She points toward a large, seemingly abandoned fish tank across the room and suggests that the item might be buried in the dirt inside it. The trio gathers around the massive tank filled with dark gravel. When Lin Zichen asks why she thinks the bracelet is in there, Shen Qinghan admits she cannot logically explain it. She just suddenly noticed the tank and had a strong, inexplicable gut feeling about it. Armed with a shovel, an eager Yuyan declares that they should stop talking and start digging to find out. Not long after, the three of them stare in absolute shock at what they uncover. Yuyan is amazed that Shen Qinghan's random intuition was perfectly correct, as they successfully unearth a beautiful bracelet made of pearls and colorful shells from the gravel. Holding the newly discovered bracelet, Lin Zichen closely examines the markings carved into the shells. He realizes that the patterns perfectly match the style of the mysterious glowing water symbols Shen Qinghan had produced. A tired and disheveled Liu Chuanwu finally arrives at the institute and sees that they have already found the item. Lin Zichen immediately questions him about the bracelet's origin. Sweating slightly, Liu Chuanwu explains that he has to go back 20 years to a deep-sea expedition to answer that. He recounts that 2 decades ago, while exploring the ocean floor near Double Sun Bay in Shanghai City, he accidentally stumbled upon an entrance to ancient, sunken ruins. He explains that upon entering a cave within the ruins, he found a single, massive mural carved into the stone, depicting a central goddess-like figure emerging from a shell, surrounded by dragons and mermaids. He concludes his story by revealing that he discovered the pearl and shell bracelet resting on a stone right next to that very mural. Yuyan and Lin Zichen stare at a static-filled laptop screen. Yuyan asks Liu Chuanwu if that is all the footage and why he didn't record the rest of his discovery. Closing the laptop, Liu Chuanwu explains that his equipment inexplicably malfunctioned. Over an hour of subsequent footage failed to record, a fact he only discovered after returning home. He adds that when he dove back down the next day to re-record, the cave entrance and even the surrounding coral reef had completely disappeared, making the encounter feel like a surreal dream. Lin Zichen questions how something so bizarre could happen. Beside him, Shen Qinghan remains completely silent, her attention entirely captivated by the bracelet. Seeing her interest, Lin Zichen hands the bracelet to Shen Qinghan, telling her to take a closer look. As she cradles the bracelet in her hands, it suddenly emits a bright, magical glow. Staring at it, Shen Qinghan becomes entranced, overwhelmed by an intense, uncharacteristic urge to claim the beautiful object for herself. She suddenly snaps out of her daze, shaking her head. She is deeply unsettled by her own strange, possessive thoughts, wondering why she feels such a strong, inexplicable connection to the bracelet. Noticing Shen Qinghan's fascination, Liu Chuanwu generously offers to let her keep the bracelet, mentioning that it was just sitting around as forgotten clutter anyway. Surprised by the offer, she asks if he is truly okay with giving it away. Shen Qinghan gratefully thanks the director for the gift. Just then, Lin Zichen is interrupted by a sudden phone call and checks his screen, wondering who is contacting him. Answering the call, Lin Zichen informs the person on the line that he is currently at the Pure Human Research Institute. He listens quietly to the caller before calmly acknowledging the information. Lowering his phone, Lin Zichen smiles knowingly to himself. He internally notes that the major opportunity or event he had been anticipating has finally arrived. Liu Chuanwu points at Lin Zichen's phone, asking who just called him. Yuyan also notices his change in mood, pointing out that his expression has suddenly turned dead serious. Lin Zichen calmly reveals that the call was from Principal Yuan. He drops a massive bombshell. The deputy governor of the Origin Land Stronghold is coming to the institute to meet him, and he'll be there in about half an hour. Hearing this, Liu Chuanwu and Yuyan are completely dumbfounded, their faces turning pale with shock. They exclaim in disbelief. After all, the deputy governor is a legendary level powerhouse who stands at the very peak of Earth's combat strength, second only to one person. Unfazed by their extreme reactions, Lin Zichen tells director Liu Chuanwu to quickly gather and summarize all of their research on the pure human path. This way, they can present a solid report to the deputy governor when he gets there. Overcome with emotion, both Liu Chuanwu and Yuyan begin to cry tears of joy. Yuyan expresses her deep gratitude, saying that having a genius like Lin Zichen join them is a huge blessing. It has finally brought the attention of a major figure to their overlooked pure human research. Liu Chuanwu agrees, feeling that their years of hard work are finally paying off. Filled with a sudden burst of energy, Liu Chuanwu calls out to Yu Yan, and the two researchers sprint down the hallway to organize their years of data before the VIP arrives. A short time later, Yu Yan, Liu Chuanwu, Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan stand together in the courtyard outside the institute. They look up to the sky as Liu Chuanwu announces that their guests are finally here. A massive military transport aircraft hovers overhead, kicking up dust. Three figures step out of it. Principal Mo Dongji escorts a distinguished white-haired man wearing a heavy coat with a fur collar. This is the Kyushu State Deputy Governor, Ye Yongsheng. Beside him is his military aide, Secretary Zhang. Deputy Governor Ye Yongsheng addresses the group with a stern look. He tells them he is highly interested in their research on the pure human path and asks everyone to head inside to discuss it further. Moving to a comfortable lounge, Deputy Governor Ye Yongsheng takes a seat on a sofa. A highly respectful Liu Chuanwu carefully hands over a folder presenting the institute's research results on the pure human path for him to review. Skimming through the documents, Deputy Governor Ye Yongsheng mentions that he briefly followed the pure human path when it first came out. However, he eventually wrote it off as a dead end after seeing all the geniuses who chose that route fade into mediocrity. He admits he's surprised that, even after all these years, there are still people stubbornly researching this specific path, handing the documents back to Secretary Zhang. Looking at Lin Zichen, Liu Chuanwu, and Yu Yan, Ye Yongsheng admits they have actually produced real results. He brings up Lin Zichen's situation, pointing out that despite his incredible performance in the military zone and the huge bounty the plant god cult put on him, his official biological level is only recorded as ordinary tier 9. Staring right at Lin Zichen, the deputy governor reveals his surprise that the young man actually has the physical vitality and spiritual strength of an advanced tier 2 expert. Realizing his secret is exposed, Lin Zichen notes to himself that his natural camouflage ability is completely useless against someone at Ye Yongsheng's level. Liu Chuanwu and Yu Yan look at Lin Zichen in absolute shock, blown away to hear that his true strength is already at advanced tier 2. Sweating nervously, Lin Zichen realizes he overestimated his camouflage skills and severely underestimated the senses of a legendary level powerhouse. Ye Yongsheng firmly tells Lin Zichen to stop hiding his abilities. From now on, he wants the young man to show his maximum strength as a pure human and challenge the top geniuses of the genetic fusion and mechanical paths. He wants to witness the true upper limit of the pure human potential. Lin Zichen respectfully explains his hesitation. He says he only hid his true power because he was worried that standing out too much would attract endless attacks from cultists and put his family in danger. Ye Yongsheng assures him that since he is ordering him to go all out, he will naturally guarantee the absolute safety of Lin Zichen and his family. Having secured the exact promise he wanted, Lin Zichen agrees to the deputy governor's terms, promising to show him the peak of a pure human's capabilities. Satisfied with the agreement, Ye Yongsheng leans back and tells Secretary Zhang to get Lin Zichen's contact info and send him a specific list. Secretary Zhang quickly complies, pulling up the data on his tablet. Lin Zichen checks his phone and gets a file titled Rare Level Genius List, wondering what it is. Ye Yongsheng explains that it is a roster of the country's absolute top-tier young talents, strictly limited to those under 30. Scanning the document, Lin Zichen sees the names, ages, and crazy combat achievements of various prodigies, including a 19-year-old named Luo Qiangshui. The deputy governor adds that everyone on this list is a once-in-a-century talent with the potential to reach the legendary level. They are Earth's main fighting force against the Origin Land. Recognizing the name Luo Qiangshui, Lin Zichen wonders if she is Shen Qinghan's senior martial sister. Ye Yongsheng continues, noting that almost all of these geniuses were sent to the Origin Land for intense elite training before they even reached school age. This places them in a completely different league compared to someone like Lin Zichen, who grew up in the normal education system. Lin Zichen envisions an armored man lifting a massive metal block alongside a mechanical genius girl in white armor. Prompted by this display, he asks Deputy Governor Ye Yongsheng how the top prodigies he already knows compare to the elites on the newly provided list. Taking a calm sip of his tea, Ye Yongsheng bluntly replies that there is no comparison, as they exist on entirely different levels. He explains that the individuals Lin Zichen currently considers geniuses are nothing more than slightly larger ants when measured against the powerhouses of the Origin Land. Ye Yongsheng elaborates that he shared the list specifically to teach Lin Zichen that there is always someone stronger, advising the young man never to limit his perspective to Earth. Lin Zichen listens with intense focus, absorbing the gravity of his words. The deputy governor acknowledges that Lin Zichen's talent is currently impressive, but he warns that his long-term success will rely entirely on the consistency of his performance from this point forward. Standing up dramatically with his arms outstretched, Ye Yongsheng motivates Lin Zichen by revealing that earning a spot on the elite list will grant him access to incredible evolutionary resources potent enough to forcefully evolve an ordinary-level being into a rare-level powerhouse. Filled with determination, Lin Zichen confidently assures the deputy governor that he will work hard to meet his expectations. Pleased with this resolve, Ye Yongsheng places a reassuring hand on Lin Zichen's shoulder, stating that he eagerly anticipates the young man's future progress. The deputy governor then shifts his gaze toward the purple-haired girl nearby, remarking that there is something else he finds highly curious about Shen Qinghan. Ye Yongsheng points out a bizarre contradiction in her physiology. Her body contains exotic beast genes, yet she is not fused with them. Instead, she is actively suppressing them while practicing blood-quenching techniques to pursue the path of a pure-blooded human. Answering the deputy governor's curiosity, Lin Zichen explains that despite Shen Qinghan's outstanding talent, which would easily place her near the top of the elite list, she remains timid due to the lasting psychological trauma of childhood bullying. Understanding her situation, Ye Yongsheng expresses disappointment regarding her current level. He notes that although she has successfully undergone body quenching, her power remains at ordinary tier 6. Which he finds unsatisfactory given her potential. Nevertheless, he encourages her to work hard and strive for a spot on the elite list alongside Lin Zichen. Liu Chuanwu and Yu Yan are left in absolute shock, blown away by the revelation that Shen Qinghan is actively walking the incredibly difficult path of a pure-blooded human and has already achieved body quenching. Principal Mo Dongji then steps forward, respectfully volunteering to escort the deputy governor out. Ye Yongsheng, accompanied by Mo Dongji and Secretary Zhang, turns and walks down the hallway to make his departure. After the deputy governor leaves the facility, Lin Zichen, Shen Qinghan, Mo Dongji, Liu Chuanwu and Yu Yan gather in the lounge. Taking advantage of the private setting, Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan finally come clean, disclosing the hidden aspects of their true strength to the rest of the group. Thrilled by this confirmation, Liu Chuanwu enthusiastically approaches Shen Qinghan. Rubbing his hands together, he suggests that since she is already walking the pure-blooded human path, she should officially join their heavenly human pavilion. Before Shen Qinghan can process the offer, a terrifying dark aura materializes behind Liu Chuanwu. He breaks into a cold sweat as Mo Dongji looms over him, glaring with glowing red eyes and demanding to know why he is attempting to recruit her student. Attempting to justify the invitation, Liu Chuanwu argues that Shen Qinghan's chosen path makes her a perfect fit for their organization. Mo Dongji sharply reminds him that Shen Qinghan is her personal disciple, to which Liu Chuanwu retorts, questioning if joining the pavilion would prevent her from remaining a student. When Mo Dongji insists he should have asked for permission first, a stubborn Liu Chuanwu brazenly asks her right then and there. Angered by his audacity, Mo Dongji forcefully grabs Liu Chuanwu by the collar and drags the panicked director out of the room, ignoring his pleas that he does not hit women. Watching the display, Yu Yan, Lin Zichen, and Shen Qinghan sweat drop, with Yu Yan marveling at how a director dares act so arrogantly in front of a powerful principal. Shortly after, a heavily bruised and battered Liu Chuanwu returns to the room. Despite his injuries, he enthusiastically takes Shen Qinghan's hands, officially welcoming her to the heavenly human pavilion. Yu Yan is shocked that he survived and secured Mo Dongji's permission, but Liu Chuanwu dismissively tells her that children should not concern themselves with adult matters. In reality, Mo Dongji only agreed to let Shen Qinghan join on one condition. Liu Chuanwu must attend a formal dinner at the Yuan family residence. Although Liu Chuanwu agreed to the deal to save his own skin, he internally dreads that the dinner will be a deadly trap. Shifting the topic to more pressing matters, Lin Zichen asks Liu Chuanwu about the powerful backer he had promised to find. He is curious about her strength and how she compares to a legendary powerhouse like Deputy Governor Ye Yongsheng. Sweating nervously, Liu Chuanwu awkwardly admits that he has no idea. Annoyed by this unreliable answer, Lin Zichen questions if the director is playing a joke on him. A frantic Liu Chuanwu waves his hands, explaining that this mysterious backer has been lying dormant inside a sealed ancient coffin, so he has never seen her capabilities. Nevertheless, he assures Lin Zichen that since she is the true pavilion master, her strength cannot be weak. This revelation leaves Lin Zichen confused, as he previously assumed Liu Chuanwu was the head of the organization. Liu Chuanwu awkwardly clarifies that he is merely an archaeologist who excavated the real pavilion master from ancient ruins, prompting Lin Zichen to demand a proper explanation. Liu Chuanwu explains that the true pavilion master is a supreme expert from a long-forgotten era and a legendary philanthropist. He reveals that her name is Qi Qingmo, and she is famously known by the title of the Great Love Immortal Master. Liu Chuanwu explains that the blood-quenching technique they currently practice was actually discovered in the ancient ruins. He notes that this method is part of an evolutionary path originating from a long-forgotten era. He elaborates that wherever such profound techniques exist, a dedicated sect naturally forms to practice them. In this case, it was the Heavenly Human Pavilion, a powerful faction from that ancient era led by a woman named Qi Qingmo. Unlike other supreme beings of the so-called Age of Gods who viewed mortals as mere insects, Pavilion Master Qi Qingmo treated them as her own kin. Liu recounts her legendary deeds, describing how she would provide food to starving villages, stop disastrous floods, and actively intervene to protect humanity whenever other gods tried to oppress them. Driven by a deep desire to help weak mortals step onto the path of immortality, she researched and created the blood-quenching technique. This method allowed even the most ordinary beings to eventually evolve into gods. However, Liu's tone turns somber as he reveals a tragic twist to the tale. When he finally excavated the ancient ruins, he found the pavilion master in an incredibly weak state. She was lying unconscious inside an ancient coffin and barely had enough time to teach him the fundamentals of the blood-quenching method before falling back into a deep sleep. Looking excited once more, Liu shares the most crucial part of the story with Lin Zichen. Before she fell asleep, she told him that if someone could evolve into a high-level being using the pure-blooded human path, they would be able to unseal and awaken her by transferring their vitality and blood power into her body. A heavy silence falls over Lin Zichen as he processes the weight of this responsibility. He listens quietly as Liu declares that he is currently the most promising candidate to reach the necessary level and awaken the pavilion master. Voicing his darker concerns, a nervous Lin wonders what might happen if this ancient being decides to drain all of his vitality upon waking up. Laughing loudly, Liu reassures him that the pavilion master is famous for her kindness and would never do such a thing. He even promises to bring several top-tier experts along for protection when the time comes to unseal her, just to ease Lin's worries. Ignoring Lin's lingering doubts, an enthusiastic Liu pulls out his phone. He tells the speechless student not to overthink it and immediately sends over all the data and files regarding the ancient bronze coffin and the ruins so that Lin can study them in depth. As the winter break nears its end, Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan experience a massive boost in their training efficiency. This rapid progress is entirely due to the generous support of Principal Mo Dongji and Director Liu, who provide an abundance of rare treasures, ginseng, and medicinal wines to fuel the students' progress. Exhausted from his intense training, Lin reflects on his incredible gains. He has successfully achieved his fourth major body-quenching completion. Although his official biological level is still stuck at ordinary Tier 9, his actual vitality and blood strength have skyrocketed, now rivaling the power of an advanced Tier 3 expert. His thoughts are happily interrupted when Shen Qinghan gives him a tight hug. She joyfully announces that she has also made a breakthrough, successfully completing her second body quenching and evolving to ordinary Tier 8, just in time for the new school term. Following their successful training sessions, Lin accompanies Shen Qinghan to Principal Mo's facility to take the next crucial step in her evolutionary path. Inside the medical room, Shen Qinghan lies nervously on an examination bed while Principal Mo prepares a specialized syringe. The principal explains that the syringe contains an extremely precious gene reagent derived from a creature known as a water butterfly. She firmly instructs Shen to do her absolute best to control the new genetic power once it enters her system. Watching the tense procedure closely, Lin recalls from his studies that water butterflies are rare aquatic beasts. They are famous for possessing spiritual strength far beyond other creatures of their tier, a unique trait that grants them the ability to unleash powerful illusion-based attacks. After finishing the procedure, Principal Mo informs Shen Qinghan that the injection is complete. She advises her student to speak up immediately if she experiences any discomfort rather than suffering in silence, which Shen dutifully agrees to. Using her spiritual power, Mo carefully examines the gene integration process within her student's body. She happily announces that the procedure is a complete success, adding that once Shen gets used to controlling the water butterfly's genetic power, she will even be able to use illusion-based attacks herself. Later, as Shen Qinghan gets up to stretch, Lin Zichen takes the opportunity to ask Principal Mo about her senior disciple who currently resides in the Origin Land, admitting his intense curiosity about her. Taking a calm sip of her drink, Mo asks Lin if this sudden interest was sparked by seeing the girl's impressive combat records on the elite prodigy list. Lin confirms that it was indeed the reason. Mo then shares the backstory, revealing that she had actually found the girl 11 years ago on a snowy mountain in the Origin Land. She explains that the girl was only 8 years old at the time, completely alone and on the verge of death. Taking pity on the child, Mo saved her life and decided to raise her as her own disciple. She notes that when her time in the Origin Land ended and she had to return to Earth, she made sure to safely settle the girl in one of the Origin Land's bases. She allowed her apprentice to live there permanently and always made sure to visit her from time to time. Regarding the girl's true origins and family background, Mo admits that it remains a complete mystery. Not even the girl herself remembers her past due to severe amnesia. Intrigued by this revelation, Lin asks the principal if this senior disciple is actually an alien mutant. Looking serious, Mo confirms that the girl is indeed a mutant. She clarifies that because of this, it is absolutely impossible for the disciple to be someone Lin might have known from his childhood. She then explains the harsh reality of their world. The military would never allow a mutant to cross over and enter Earth under any circumstances. Following their successful training sessions, Lin accompanies Shen Qinghan to Principal Mo's facility to take the next crucial step in her evolutionary path. Inside the medical room, Shen Qinghan lies nervously on an examination bed while Principal Mo prepares a specialized syringe. The principal explains that the syringe contains an extremely precious gene reagent derived from a creature known as a water butterfly. She firmly instructs Shen to do her absolute best to control the new genetic power once it enters her system. Watching the tense procedure closely, Lin recalls from his studies that water butterflies are rare aquatic beasts. They are famous for possessing spiritual strength far beyond other creatures of their tier, a unique trait that grants them the ability to unleash powerful illusion-based attacks. After finishing the procedure, Principal Mo informs Shen Qinghan that the injection is complete. She advises her student to speak up immediately if she experiences any discomfort rather than suffering in silence, which Shen dutifully agrees to. Using her spiritual power, Mo carefully examines the gene integration process within her student's body. She happily announces that the procedure is a complete success, adding that once Shen gets used to controlling the water butterfly's genetic power, she will even be able to use illusion-based attacks herself. Later, as Shen Qinghan gets up to stretch, Lin Zixin takes the opportunity to ask Principal Mo about her senior disciple who currently resides in the Origin Land, admitting his intense curiosity about her. Taking a calm sip of her drink, Mo asks Lin if this sudden interest was sparked by seeing the girl's impressive combat records on the elite prodigy list. Lin confirms that it was indeed the reason. Mo then shares the backstory, revealing that she had actually found the girl 11 years ago on a snowy mountain in the Origin Land. She explains that the girl was only 8 years old at the time, completely alone and on the verge of death. Taking pity on the child, Mo saved her life and decided to raise her as her own disciple. She notes that when her time in the Origin Land ended and she had to return to Earth, she made sure to safely settle the girl in one of the Origin Land's bases. She allowed her apprentice to live there permanently and always made sure to visit her from time to time. Regarding the girl's true origins and family background, Mo admits that it remains a complete mystery. Not even the girl herself remembers her past due to severe amnesia. Intrigued by this revelation, Lin asks the principal if this senior disciple is actually an alien mutant. Looking serious, Mo confirms that the girl is indeed a mutant. She clarifies that because of this, it is absolutely impossible for the disciple to be someone Lin might have known from his childhood. She then explains the harsh reality of their world. The military would never allow a mutant to cross over and enter Earth under any circumstances. Lin Zixin mulls over the strange coincidences surrounding Mo Dongji's senior disciple, Luo Qianshui, and his childhood acquaintance, Bai Shui. It's suspicious that Luo Qianshui appeared just as Bai Shui vanished, and their matching ages lead him to wonder if there's a secret way to travel between the Origin Land and Earth. His thoughts are interrupted by Shen Qinghan, dressed casually, who announces that she's packed and ready to go. Lin Zixin and Shen Qinghan approach Principal Mo Dongji and respectfully inform her of their departure. Meanwhile, in another part of the school, Li Moyu and Luo Yongjian are sent flying from a doorway, having been soundly beaten. A tough-looking student named Guo Haidong, the deputy head of the Student Council's External Liaison Department, guards the entrance to a training facility. He warns that any student who dares to enter without the council's permission will face the consequences. From the doorway, Guo Haidong looks down on the fallen students, telling them their defeat is a warning to anyone else who might challenge the council's authority. Later, a bruised Li Moyu and Luo Yongjian find Lin Zixin and Shen Qinghan, desperately pleading with Lin Zixin to stand up for the new students. They explain that a group of senior students, led by Guo Haidong, has taken over the second-floor training room and is beating any new students who try to use it. To motivate him, Li Moyu promises to transfer 10 million to Lin Zixin's account if he can make their bully spit blood. The offer of money immediately piques Lin Zixin's interest. He assures the battered Li Moyu that he will deliver a satisfactory result and provides his bank account number, which Li Moyu promptly agrees to use. With Lin Zixin backing them, Li Moyu and Luo Yongjian confidently return to the training room. They boldly call for Guo Haidong to come out, announcing they have returned to give him a thrashing. Guo Haidong looks down at the group from inside the training room. He scoffs, remarking that he thought they had found someone formidable but sees they have only brought the new student king of their class. Using his danger perception ability, Lin Zixin analyzes their opponent. He determines that Guo Haidong is at the peak of ordinary rank 8 and has fused the genes of a Qi blood type demon eye giant ape and a spiritual type magic shadow bat. Deciding this is a good opportunity for some practice, Lin Zixin tells Shen Qinghan he will let her handle the fight. He cheekily reminds her to make their opponent spit blood, his mind on the 10 million prize. Shen Qinghan calmly agrees. Guo Haidong takes offense when Shen Qinghan steps forward. He angrily demands to know if they are looking down on him by sending a woman to fight. Not wanting to dirty his own hands, Guo Haidong orders a purple-haired woman from his group to take care of her. The woman confidently accepts. The woman declares that she will teach her junior a lesson in respecting her seniors. Before the senior can even react, Shen Qinghan lands a powerful kick that sends her flying across the room. The crowd of onlookers is stunned by the sudden turn of events. They murmur in disbelief, wondering how a new student could be strong enough to defeat a senior with a single kick. Having dealt with the lackey, Shen Qinghan turns her cold gaze toward a shocked Guo Haidong and informs him that it's his turn. Realizing he is facing a real threat, Guo Haidong activates his genes, transforming into a massive, muscular, rat-like beast. He condescendingly admits to underestimating Shen Qinghan but boasts that a kick like hers couldn't hurt him in the slightest. Tan Wanyi's eyes widen in shock as her devastating barrage of razor-sharp feathers suddenly halts in midair, hovering ominously around her. Before she can comprehend the situation, the suspended projectiles violently reverse direction, securely pinning the bewildered Tan Wanyi against the wall. The onlookers quickly realize Lin Zichen is using his formidable spiritual power to telekinetically seize control of her attack and turn it against her. Observing the sudden reversal, Student Council President Zhou Hong stares intently at the scene. The surrounding students are stunned that a mere freshman possesses such advanced telekinetic abilities. Zhou Hong deduces that if Lin Zichen's spiritual power is this potent, his physical qi and blood strength must be even more terrifying, potentially reaching an advanced Tier 1 or even Tier 2 level. Deciding to intervene before the situation escalates, Zhou Hong steps forward to confront the young prodigy. He acknowledges Lin Zichen's extraordinary talent but coldly states that, as a senior, it is his duty to teach the arrogant freshman a lesson in humility. He internally resolves to crush Lin Zichen before the boy can mature into a genuine threat, warning Lin Zichen that his unchecked arrogance will eventually lead to his demise at the hands of a stronger opponent. Zhou Hong unleashes his intense aura. Massive, menacing spiritual projections of a giant venomous snake and a fearsome scorpion materialize behind him, showcasing his terrifying dual-gene power. Unfazed by the intimidating display, Lin Zichen casually cracks his knuckles. He notes that both of Zhou Hong's beast genes are highly toxic and decides this is the perfect opportunity to test his invulnerable to poison attribute. He calmly explains that he previously hid his true strength for safety, but, now that he has a powerful backer, he is free to fight without holding back. Realizing words are useless, Zhou Hong fully activates his genetic transformation. His body is rapidly encased in dark, heavily armored chitin, sprouting massive scorpion claws and a lethal stinger-tipped tail as he prepares for battle. The gathered crowd, including Ma Weiwei and Luo Yongjian, watches in awe as Zhou Hong immediately resorts to his fully mutated state. They whisper excitedly among themselves, recalling how this very form nearly poisoned a top-tier genius from a rival university the previous year, and wonder how Lin Zichen can possibly survive the impending toxic assault. Facing the monstrously transformed president, Lin Zichen confidently proposes a high-stakes bet. If he wins, he will claim the title of Student Council President, but if he loses, he will steer clear of its members forever. Zhou Hong quickly accepts the terms, and with the stakes set, the battle officially commences. Zhou Hong launches a furious attack, whipping his massive stinger tail at Lin Zichen with blinding speed. As the deadly appendage approaches, Zhou Hong sneers, boasting that he overestimated the freshman, who seemingly can't even dodge a direct strike. The stinger strikes true, enveloping Lin Zichen in toxic purple energy. However, a system notification confirms his invulnerable to poison attribute has activated, automatically increasing his QI, blood, and spiritual strength. Unfazed, Lin Zichen smirks, noting that the supposedly lethal venom causes only a brief moment of dizziness, proving his biological defense is incredibly effective. Winding up for a counterattack, Lin Zichen calmly asks the bewildered Zhou Hong if that is the most potent poison he can muster. Zhou Hong's eyes widen in disbelief, shocked that his ultimate attack has no effect whatsoever. As his fist glows with gathered power, a system prompt indicates his pack animal attribute has triggered, significantly boosting his combat strength. Lin Zichen announces that he is done being polite. In a flash, Lin Zichen steps forward and delivers a devastating punch squarely to Zhou Hong's face. The sheer force of the blow launches the heavily armored president across the room, sending him crashing violently into the reinforced wall and cratering the solid stone. As the debris settles, Zhou Hong is left slumped inside the massive crater, battered, bleeding, and completely defeated. The onlookers erupt in a frenzy of shock and awe. The female student in the sleek mechanical suit rushes forward in a panic, crying out for the defeated president. The crowd murmurs in utter disbelief, questioning Lin Zichen's true power level and marveling at the terrifying potential of the pure-blooded human path, which they now realize holds far more surprises than they ever imagined. Standing before the massive crater, Lin Zichen casually rubs the back of his head and awkwardly apologizes for using too much force. Ma Weiwei and the other students can only stare in stunned silence at the absolute destruction caused by a single punch. Deeply moved by the overwhelming display of power from a pure-blooded human, Ma Weiwei immediately pulls out her phone to call her father. With a resolute expression, she declares her intention to purge the exotic beast genes from her body and pursue the pure-blooded human path herself. In a conference room, Deputy Governor Ye Yongsheng and other officials review footage of Lin Zichen delivering a devastating punch to Zhou Hong. They question how an ordinary tier student could defeat an advanced tier expert, wondering if the pure-blooded human path might hold the key to humanity's future. Back in the training hall, medical personnel rush to the unconscious Zhou Hong, who lies slumped inside a massive crater in the wall. The gathered crowd stares in utter disbelief as Lin Zichen stands calmly amidst the destruction, completely shocked that their student council president was defeated with a single strike. With the fight concluded, Lin Zichen gently scoops the battered and bleeding Shen Qinghan into his arms, softly telling her that it is time to leave. Back in the privacy of their room, Shen Qinghan begins to undress while Lin Zichen notes that her genetic healing abilities are working exceptionally well. In less than half an hour, her severe wounds completely close up, leaving her flawless skin without a single scar. Lin Zichen then joins her in the bathtub, carefully helping to wash the remaining bloodstains from her body. As they relax, Shen Qinghan praises his awe-inspiring performance on the stage, recalling how he terrified the crowd by sending the president flying. Lin Zichen returns the compliment, reminding her that she too had effortlessly defeated the council's deputy head. Flattered, she playfully asks if they are now considered the university's peerless duo, to which a smiling Lin Zichen enthusiastically agrees. Later, the couple returns to the cluttered Heavenly Human Pavilion, where they are immediately greeted by director Liu Chuanwu and Yu Yan. The two researchers spend a considerable amount of time eagerly questioning them about the fight with Zhou Hong. Once settled, the group shifts their focus back to work, summarizing their research findings from the past 6 months. They discuss new theories, deducing that unlocking the body's acupoints might require a forceful impact using spiritual power. Eager to test this hypothesis, Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan head back to their living room. Changing into more comfortable clothing, they sit cross-legged on the floor and begin meditating, actively trying to use their spiritual energy to force open their acupoints. During her meditation, Shen Qinghan suddenly gasps in shock. Lin Zichen quickly asks what is wrong, and she excitedly explains that she just felt her acupoint tremble and loosen. Amazed by her sudden progress, Lin Zichen eagerly asks how she managed to achieve it. Shen Qinghan reveals that she accidentally stumbled upon the correct method to loosen the bodily seals. Following her lead, they both resume their meditation, utilizing her newly discovered technique, gently striking the acupoint with spiritual power 9 consecutive times, followed by a single explosive surge of blood qi. Sweating from the intense focus, Lin Zichen looks at his hand with a satisfied smile. He feels his own acupoint finally loosen, realizing that fully opening it is now only a matter of time. Meanwhile, inside a high-tech military facility filled with containment tubes, an elite team of 5 young experts gathers to discuss their recent mission rewards. A muscular man wielding a massive sword boasts about earning 150 contribution points by hunting 3 thundercloud beasts, while another member is praised for luckily taking down a formidable half-step rare-level centipede. When the team's leader asks about the whereabouts of Luo Chengxue, a female member dismissively tells him not to bother. She argues that since Luo Chengxue is an alien mutant and not an Earthling, they shouldn't interact with her. A man in blue firmly agrees, stating that non-Earthlings cannot be trusted and that they should keep their distance from the white-haired girl. Their conversation is abruptly interrupted by the arrival of Deputy Governor Ye Yongsheng, prompting the elite team to instantly stand at attention and respectfully greet him. Ye Yongsheng addresses the group, announcing that their elite squad will soon be joined by 2 new members, specifically noting that they are a freshman boy and girl from Shanghai University. The elite prodigies are left completely baffled by this news. They question how 18-year-old university freshmen could possibly qualify for their ranks, noting that geniuses recruited into their team are typically discovered before the age of 10, and wonder if these newcomers are simply extreme late bloomers. In a dark, sprawling cavern formed by massive, twisting vines, a subordinate reports to his leader, marveling at how Lin Zichen managed to defeat the student council president with a single strike, proving his terrifying strength despite his young age. The masked subordinate asks the great elder of the plant god cult for orders on how to proceed, wondering if they should take action given Lin Zichen's recent claim of having a powerful backer. The Great Elder dismisses the concern, stating that their primary mission right now is to transport high-level origin land creatures through their tunnel, and decides to put the issue of Lin Zichen on hold. As he speaks, a massive dark, horned beast emerges from the shadows behind him. Hundreds of glowing red eyes peer out from the darkness of the tangled vines as the Great Elder reveals his grand strategy. They will wait 3 months to amass a large enough army of these high-level creatures to conquer Shanghai City and establish a permanent origin land stronghold. Making the beast levitate in a surge of purple energy, the Great Elder adds that once their invasion is secure, they can send someone to capture Lin Zichen. Meanwhile, back at the university, Lin Zichen confidently strides into a bright meeting room where the student council members stand at attention in 2 rows, respectfully greeting him as their new president. Taking his seat at the head of the long conference table, Lin Zichen gets straight to the point, announcing to the gathered members that he has come today to establish only one rule. He strictly commands the council members that from now on, they are no longer allowed to bully, exploit, or infringe upon the rights of the new students as they had done in the past. Having laid down his only condition, he immediately delegates all actual responsibilities, instructing the council to take any future issues to the vice president instead of bothering him. The cyborg female council member nods. Having said his piece, Lin Zichen abruptly dismisses the meeting and stands up from the table. As he walks out of the room, he notes that his only real goal in taking the president position was to secure the extra school credits. He decides to leave all the troublesome daily management tasks to the existing members, figuring the seniors wouldn't want a freshman bossing them around anyway. Later, at the research institute, Yuyan and Liu Chuanwu are left in absolute disbelief. A shocked Liu Chuanwu exclaims that Shen Qinghan, who has just joined them, managed to easily crack the acupoint unlocking method he had been stuck on for years. Smiling modestly, Shen Qinghan explains that she merely stumbled upon the correct impact rhythm by accident, pointing out that using spiritual power to strike the points was a theory they had already been discussing. An eager Liu Chuanwu leans in and asks Lin Zichen how long he thinks it will take to fully open his acupoints and evolve into a high-level creature using the pure-blooded human path. Lin Zichen calmly estimates that, barring any accidents, he should achieve it by the end of the current semester, a bold timeline that leaves Liu Chuanwu visibly surprised. Suddenly, Liu Chuanwu turns and frantically sprints down the hallway. When Yuyan asks where he is rushing off to, he yells back that he needs to find rare natural treasures to forcefully increase his own spiritual strength so he can use the method himself. Yuyan immediately chases after him, angrily asking why he didn't share this idea sooner, to which he frantically retorts that she never asked. Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan stand behind, sweat dropping at the chaotic and childish behavior of their seniors. The commotion is interrupted when Lin Zichen's phone suddenly rings. He checks the screen and notices it is an incoming call from an unknown number. Answering the phone, he is greeted by Secretary Zhang, the military aide who accompanied Deputy Governor Ye Yongsheng during his previous visit. Lin Zichen politely greets him back. Secretary Zhang explains that Deputy Governor Ye reviewed the security footage of his recent fight against the student council. Based on that impressive performance, the Deputy Governor has determined that both Lin Zichen and his girlfriend, Shen Qinghan, have met the standards to be officially added to the elite genius roster. Lin Zichen smiles, pleased with the recognition. However, Secretary Zhang adds a condition. The Deputy Governor wants them to focus on fully developing the pure-blooded human path first before he arranges for their entry into the origin land. Hearing this unexpected delay, Lin Zichen's expression drops into an annoyed, deadpan stare.